Let's talk about our topics for tonight. Again, this is part 3. If you are just catching up, maybe pause this video, go back and watch parts 1 and 2, or you're going to miss out on some of this. I'm going to give you guys a strategy tonight at the end of this that you guys can go execute immediately. It's called the double dot strategy. If you haven't seen that strategy, that's over in our mentorship section in the free area, so make sure and catch part of that. Get into some things here tonight. So today, market was out after lunch. Again, I put away a little bit, but not too much. Again, this is one of those days where you know, it's kind of a gamble day. Be very careful on a President's Day. Today was one of those days where it's a half day in the market. So we were not in the live room. Those of you guys who were looking for us, of course, over in the Discord chat, we let you guys know about that. So let's talk about those top 3 items here tonight that I want you guys to see. And let's talk about the harmonics. Somebody came over the other day, you know, look, the harmonic, I have simplified these so well, right? A red means short, green means long. Okay, my 7-year-old daughter can trade this, technically speaking, if you were just taking every entry. And somebody had sent to me, I got a scheduled call with him tomorrow to have some more details, but he was literally just taking every harmonic, and I don't know what his stops and targets were on those, but there are specific details around each one of those that we want to take a look at. But remember, one of our top rules around here is trade nothing alone. All right, I'm gonna pull this over here. All right, we use this all the time, and I talk to you guys and say, look, trade nothing alone. Nothing here. It doesn't matter how cool it is. I don't care if it's this cool looking bat right here. I'm not just gonna trade that bat entry, although this is a good one, sure. Okay, I'm not gonna. Here's one that didn't work. Okay, if I were to just take every trade, okay, short's favorable. I come right here. I got this. Let's look over here to the left to see what this is. Okay, don't be disillusioned. We're not taking everything. Ugh. Gonna delay here. Oh, it's a diamond. Okay, so diamond is one of our weakest patterns anyways. Again, you guys are gonna know the strengths of these as we get into the additional details where we go through the harmonics themselves. But would I just take this diamond, right? Red diamond, there's the entry, and take a short? Well, there's a stop out, a pretty big one. Okay, don't take anything by itself. You need some additional things before I want you to take those trades. So please write that down. Trade nothing alone. Let's talk about a few things that you can do, right? What's this one up here called? Pop quiz time. Let's see how many people know what this one is right up here. What do we got? Well done. What about this one? Double dot. Easy, right? If you don't know about the double dot strategy, make sure you go head on over there and take a peek at that double dot strategy, okay? The icon looks like this. There's your double dot strategy right there. So make sure you go and learn that strategy. You can take that one out of my box easy. But let's talk about the harmonics.
Color dog alert for NASDAQ.
The top of the list here, make them very simple. Red box, short, green box, long. Hoo hoo hoo. I don't think I need to repeat that too many times. You guys are smart folks. Okay. So you see this bat show up on your entry points, which obviously, I mean, the synopsis of our algorithms are that if you get a green one, we're looking for a long, all right? You get a red one with a box, we're looking for a short. Pretty easy there, okay? But what are my targets, right? Because the stops are pretty easy. I draw the stop for you, okay? This box, this is our area of, you know, I can enter in anywhere in here. The ideal entry location is also marked up for you. There's a perfect line there that will show up ahead of time, and I'm going to show you guys what that box looks like. It's going to look like one of these, okay? This means that there will be a harmonic set up right here. If you want to know which one it is, look to the left to see what the latest one of these is that's coming in. That actually might be part of this deep crab, because the diamond, I can see the diamonds up here. All right, so off screen, again, this is one where we've got 2 options. And there's some of these places that I talk about, you know, you're not going to want to trade every time, and every place on the map is not a good place to execute. In the same way on a football field, I tell you guys, you know, some places as a defense, if you're playing defense in football, you know that the offensive team has certain spots on the field, and where they're at a certain down level, that they've got so many options. You don't know if they're going to run a run play, a long bomb play, you know, a short pass play, and your defense has to pretty much try to cover everything. That's the pain in the tail. You want to be trading at those places where you know it's like you got them third down. There's really only 2 options that they're going to go for, unless they get completely lucky and they go for a long bomb, right? But you're going to plan for the short run. You know, it's 3rd and 2. All right, 2 yards to go. third down. They want to see if they can get those 2 yards so they can move the chains before they can get to that next set of downs. Okay, we try to get ourselves optimally trading in those spots where if you will, the offensive team does not have a ton of options. All right. And again, that's how you learn. You learn all those in our strategies, and you can't just take these individually. However, them by themselves, they already have edge. Okay, we'll get right into that at the end. But you know, and a lot of you guys know about the blue dot, right? Our most powerful dot we've got. So, what do these boxes show up like? So there's your stop, but what's your target, Vinny? Where's your target at? We're going to talk about the targets on the harmonics. But if you guys have any specific questions on the harmonics, please type those in here tonight. I'm going to cover what I'm looking at. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details on how, you know, all the different levels and the drawings and all the measurements. We'll do that in a whole separate video on the harmonics. But I just want you guys to know, stops and targets wise, what we're looking for. What's up, Rigo? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So we've got our entry point. I want to know what my targets are, right? The stop is already going to be there. We're going to show you the stop. Okay, there's your stop. This is your risk. Okay, reward in this one isn't that great. This measure here, we're going to be doing 50% of the entire move. Okay, so we're going to measure from here to here, and we're going to get our target. I'm going to put this on a larger screen so we're not kind of zoomed in here in just a moment, but just you know, you guys understand that where we're putting our stop. Basically, it's going to draw it for you. Some of these are going to be larger, some of them are going to be smaller. You don't need to know what that is, okay? Look at this one. This one's got a pretty deep stop back here, okay? But why would I take this one? I'll tell you, this one versus this one, I'm going to take this one all day, right? Let's talk about this. I'm sure those of you guys who've been in my crew for a while, you guys know why I'm taking that one, okay? I've got several of them lining up. As you know, my rules are never trade anything alone. Now, you know, there are other people who have account size large enough where, you know, what I call pay to see the flop. You can trade every trade you want because you've got size and you can afford to, you know, ante up a few times and take the risk, and that's fine. Just don't turn into, you know, a degenerate gambler, if you will. All right, but why am I taking this one? Well, I don't have to have this entire stop. Why? Because I've got a red dot right there, right? So I've got red dot plus I've got 2 formations in this area that are ending right here. Very, very tight formation. And I can put a stop literally right here. This is like one of the most, you know, this is one of my favorite types of stops because I know that I have a mental stop right here. And again, you guys saw me last Wednesday. I literally had time to walk through that evening session with you guys, 2 to 4, where I have my initial stop at 25 ticks. If this breaks this line, I'll wait for it to breathe. I try to get back, and if it gets back to this stop, I'm taking a very, very small stop. You know, it's 5 or 8 ticks for a stop, and I've got a big, big, you know, move in the event that it runs in my direction. Okay, you guys saw all that. And if you haven't, go back and watch that video. Or okay, so I want to take this one because I've got multiple things. I got the dot, I got a deep crab, I got a diamond. Looks like a double diamond setup in this area. No, I'm sorry. Just a diamond and a crab. The cipher's kind of hard to see in there, and that one is still setting up. So remember, gold color means kind of get ready, just like any other red light, green light system. Red light, green light. Yellow means get ready. We've got this setup coming. You know, it's really not much to explain. I know a lot of people have been like, Vinny, when are you going to explain the harmonics? And I'm like, it's not actually that hard, okay? I do all the work for you. The algorithms do all the work for you. You don't have to measure all these out. You don't have to know what the PRZs are. I do all the calculations in the algorithm for you. I draw it on the chart for you. You know what the risk rewards are, and there you go. The hardest part of that is the reward. So let's focus on that. Let's get straight to the targets. So what are the targets on some of these setups? Now, you know, zooming back here, for me on a multi-screen setup where I'm trading, let's do this one. You can see more of this. Okay. On a multi-screen setup where I'm trading multiple instruments, okay, I'm going to be spreading out my charts across many screens. But again, when somebody's starting out, you're probably going to be starting on one screen, but you still need to use the triple screen setup. If you don't know about triple screen, again, it's one of the only books I recommend you guys read up on or get the audio of, and that's Alexander Elder's book called Trade for a Living. He talks about the triple screen setup, and again, we use those 3 time frames: tide, wave, ripple. He talks about all that kind of stuff. I reteach that, but put it into an algorithmic setup. I do a few different names that are a little bit different that to me define it a little better, but generally speaking, that's where that comes from. You need to be using multiple time frames. If you're only using one time frame, I think a lot of people know better than to just use one time frame now, but for those of you who are new, make sure you're using multiple time frames, and if you install our system, it comes that way. So this is my point. This might be my system. A lot of people get overwhelmed, like, well, man, that's too much. Your system's too complicated. Believe it or not, it's not. We've got lots of people over there in our Discord chat. There's not one person in there who doesn't know the rules now. And I know we go through a lot of stuff when you come in here, and at the end of it, I can almost assure you, you're gonna know it. All right, if you're smart enough to come in here and see what we're doing, you are intelligent enough to learn the rules and understand how it trades. At the end of the day, it's a click of a mouse. The rest of the stuff comes from what we draw on the screens for you, and we let the tools do the work, right? Big screen setup, but now I'm going to zoom you into what it would look like on a single screen setup, and we're going to talk about those targets on the harmonic. And what is your setup going to look like? On a single screen, this is it, okay? This big thing I'm moving around here, this is what comes installed. If you've installed our ALGOBOX pack right now, you installed it, you opened it up. If you pressed play, like I showed you guys in the first few videos, it starts to fill in with data, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts that you're looking at, right? Don't be overwhelmed by that. Remember, it's still one instrument, 5 different time frames, but really, as you get into our system, you kind of understand what you're looking at. You're really entering in on one of these 2 charts, okay? These 3 are feeding you information, okay? Remember that tide wave ripple I was telling you about? There's the tide, there's the wave. These are the ripple charts that we take our entry. The MACV system is a specific entry setup. Again, you can learn that as well. It's in the free section. A lot of people make a mistake though and go and trying to trade that MACV all by itself. Don't make that mistake, okay? I had another trader come to me recently talking to me. He was like, oh yeah, I'm trading the MACV. And I'm like, oh, tell me your rules around it. And of course, first thing, they're not using order of operations before they enter on that. And they, were doing really well for a while and then didn't. And that's what happens if you try to take that one by itself. So please be careful. Don't get, what's the word? Don't be disenchanted by or enchanted by the MACV there. You will eventually be disenchanted if you're trying to trade that alone. Okay, don't trade anything alone. Make sure you incorporate it with the other systems, and don't just come in here and try to be a freetard, learn the free stuff, and then think that you can just apply that to everything. Be careful. All right, enough of that. So let's take a peek at some of these setups. Obviously, immediately I'm looking over here. I can see a nice setup here off of a blue dot. Perfect, huge move off of the blue dot. We see some double red dots coming in. And look at this big box here, right? So obviously we know a harmonic potential is coming up in this area. And what is it? We've got 2. We've got a deep crab setup coming in here onto this. And now if it ends up firing, I'm going to talk to you guys again. You guys know how it is. You've got in this box, I've got multiple areas for entry. Ideal entry number 1, ideal entry number 2, final stop. Okay, if you're going to be a multi-entry scenario, you're not adding past that line right there. Keep your stop down below the box. Okay, that's the entries. Let's focus now on targets. What am I doing with targets? All right, so here's another example of one that by itself, not working. This is a Crab Gartley. Now, you'll notice that one of them is down here. Don't be confused to think that there are 2 right here. There is not, okay? There was one back here that didn't work that should automatically tell you that this one's not gonna work. Plus, we've got longs favorable. I'm not looking to get a short on one of these, but look, some of these don't work. I'm not just showing you guys stuff that, oh, look, they all work. That's not what we're doing here, okay? I'm telling you guys, please focus in on my rules. Trade nothing alone. Learn order of operations. One of those is never trade against this right here. Okay, whatever the favorable direction is, please do yourself that favor. So, but let's say for whatever reason, this was a great entry for us because we had something showing us up top that we wanted to take this entry. And yes, of course, obviously I'm showing you one that works right here. But I want you guys to see what I'm going to take for, you already know my stops, but what are my targets on this, okay? So this becomes pretty easy if you're familiar with your fib tool. Let's zoom in here. So here's how we measure these, and this is going to be for every setup. Y'all, I don't care if it's a bat, if it's a crab, if it's a cipher, all of them are the same. We're taking the deepest entry point, which is this one right here. This is going to be my measure point 1, and then to the end of that position, okay? All you need to remember is that this is not the measurement. Okay, we're not taking this measurement. We are measuring from the deepest spot right here to the end point, which is from here to here. Okay, you guys got these two dots? This is where I'm pulling out my fib tool if I wanted to pick out where this is going to be. So I'm pressing F8 here. I'm going to get my measure from here to here. Bam. Now, you guys know, look at these two green lines. Almost everything is consistent with what we do around here in the same thing. I'm looking for the target at the 50, and it's going to be somewhere here between the 50 and the 618 for my target. Now, as the trade starts to move in my direction, this is one of those rare setups that, yes, this is one that I'm moving my my stop in to the point of entry, okay, on the harmonics. This is one of those exceptions to our other rules. Again, I never recommend moving your stops in, and again, if you really want to stick with my old rules, that's fine. Keep your stop where it was. But what we're trying to do here, because we're taking deeper targets, okay, on my target 1, I'm looking for that 50% line. I'm moving my stop in because these are usually bigger moves when we're trying to catch one of these, okay? So here is, let's go ahead and grab our box here. So this is our target box. Now I know it's kind of hard to see because I've got some other stuff overriding here. So you can brighten that up, okay? There she is. So there's my target, okay? That's it. And you guys see how we do that, right? I'm measuring the fib from here to here. Okay, this point is what I want, and this point right here, oops, I just went way too far up there, didn't I? So my target 1 is right here. Now this one worked out really well. Yeah, it looks like we took a little heat. Look where we can add right here. Do I want to add on that red dot? Absolutely. Right. Another thing we're going to talk about, in our trading setups, when I get specific into the harmonics, I'm going to teach you guys how to grab timing. I'll go ahead, and I know you guys have been with me for a while. This one I'm measuring from tip to tip. Okay. So what do I want to do? There's my measurement. Measurement 1, same thing here. Measurement number 2, I'm looking for crossover points. I don't have a perfect crossover point, but look what I do have. I've got one of these lines that lands perfectly, timeline, plus a dot. Am I going to take that? If you answered yes, you've been through my program and you know what's up. So that landed perfectly right there. If you want the absolute perfect entry point, you're waiting for the dot entry after you get one of these. There it is. You do not get better than that, okay? Almost zero heat, and you're riding that beast. This is a real nice target set here. Is this on the 5? No, it's on the 2. So from up here, you're at 6415s to 6408s times 4. Whew, it's a big one. Nice drop there on that trade. Any questions? Pop those over in the chat box. This is how I take those stops and targets. And again, of course, you can make your runner, and I'm waiting for a green dot for my exit. Okay, do I see a green dot anywhere? Haven't seen. But no, this ends up coming all the way back up here. Again, you're getting lucky if I'm waiting for something big to catch down here. We won't talk about the runner scenarios. I teach you guys how to run with a Mac V. That's our kind of our run scenario. We can look probably over here to see if that's the case. This was red the entire time, but we can also exit and try to hold something longer on a green if we're in a spot where the upper time frames are showing us that we might be able to get that bigger move. Okay, remember that those are going to come off of the higher time frame. Okay, any questions on the harmonic targets? They're going to show up on your charts. They're red, they're green. Here is the potential what's coming up. Let's talk about this. So you're going to see these boxes show up on your chart and you'll be like, what am I doing for these? Well, this sort of starts to, these help me to not jump into a trade, okay? I'm going to wait in if I'm already looking for a trade entry. Now, mind you, please, folks, do not just take these entries. Make sure you have our other order of operations, okay? Starting at the very top of the list, order of operations, daily bar, favorable direction, Mac V, you got a structure, then we're looking for an entry. And so if I'm waiting on an entry, I'm just salivating at the mouth because I'm like, oh, I got the structure. I got a turtle setup coming in right here. I'm at the edge of a channel. I know I want to take a long trade here. What am I waiting on? Last thing I'm waiting on, I know that I can get an entry where? Right here. Okay. And if I get this plus a dot, I'm in. Okay. So I know where these are anticipating to be coming in. What pattern is this going to be? I know that in this case, I've got a bat and a crab coming up in this entire block here. Okay, but that also tells me I've got some room to wait if this is coming down to this area. But we've got longs favorable. This is going to be a green entry location. Where can I take these entries? I can take this one, and this one, right? If I wait for the deepest one in this area, obviously I have the least amount of heat, biggest amount of potential reward, measuring out the bat or the crab. And again, you can go look up what those setups are. On top of this, it looks like we also have a diamond formation coming in this area. Now we also have a deep crab. That's the one that's going to be coming in from the top. This is going to be a smaller one because the entry point is here. So what is a deep crab going to be looking like? From here to here, here to here, here to here, oops, and here to here. That's what's coming in right here for that deep crab. And you can see that now that I've drawn it, right? But you see how it's awesome that the algorithms are already going to be drawing these for you to anticipate where that entry is going to be. If you already know, is this going to be something, your risk reward scenario? Are you going to want to, risk that right there? Well, if I'm longs favorable, I'm not going to want to do that, right? I'm going to need something else. But if that deep crab shows up and I get a red dot in here, then I'm going to have a second guess at that, and I might go ahead and take a shot at that with a very tight stop right behind the dot. You guys getting this, right? You kind of following the pattern, how the system kind of turns this into a video game for you, right? Connect the dots, you got the colors, got the shapes, it's good stuff. Okay, that covers harmonics. Let's go to the old J-Hook Pro. Okay, so I am showing that we've got one down here. I've got one here. Do I have any here? 0 and 0. Okay, so for our current market replay, just for demonstration purposes here, let me save this workspace. Okay, we've got one J-hook long found, so let's scroll back here and let's take a peek at what that J-hook long looks like. All right, this is a good example because it's not one of those perfect ones. All right, I didn't plan this ahead of time, just want to come back and look to see what was the opportunity. Okay, so the one J-hook that's set up here on this, in our next version, I'll be increasing the font on some of this stuff because I think even myself, I find myself having a hard time like seeing when these show up. We can put there's an audio alert for it, but we know we've got the J-hook set up. I know I've got a trap. Okay, remember the whole thing for a J-hook. If you don't know about the J-hook, go watch the J-hook video. Thanks, Maldonado. Appreciate that, sir. The rules for the J-hook, I teach you guys that in the free section, but now we've got an algorithm that's just going to kind of show that up for you. It's going to show you what targets are potentially up there for you. This one got target 1. We did not get any further targets. So this is kind of a good example here. And we've got one entry point. So what does this look like? This is the J-hook. This isn't, again, I'm not showing you guys like a perfect one. All I did was just randomly pick a chart. Here's a potential J-hook. These work in both directions, long side, short side. Go watch our strategy video on what this is. But this, our best entry location is down here. If we get into this box, is where we want to originally take our entry for the ideal entry. I think on our newest version, this also says the ideal entry because this is not just an entry. It's not the only place we enter. I enter immediately when I see one of these arrows. So my first entry point is right here. What's my target 1? Right here. Okay, this is a tough one because this one did not get to target 2. And again, I'm not just showing you guys stuff that like nothing's 100%, okay? But this is still good profitability when we see these, get to their target. We have very specific sets of rules. Obviously, this one's a rare setup that showed up. This is, if you scroll all the way back, there are not a ton of these. This is the only J-hook in this series. I think I've got about three days worth of data loaded on this chart. And we've got one J-hook setup. But that one is showing up right there. This is what it looks like if you have installed your ALGOBOX. You're going to have this one show up on your chart. Okay. Not much more to say about that. Again, go check out the J-hook strategy from end to end if you want more details on the J-hook strategy. Just again, I'm showcasing what's in this for part 3. Okay. Now it's important to have these thick lines on here for a reason. Okay. So you'll learn the strategy rules inside our 2-finger salute strategy videos. Okay, but these are the 2-finger salutes. These that show up, they basically look like this. So what are my rules around the 2-finger salute? So those of you guys who have been with me for a while, Curtis is our master at the 2-finger salute. So On this two-finger salute, this is a loose down two-finger. Should I be reversing? That is the question. Is this a reverse two-finger salute? Let's see who's been paying attention. If you don't know the answer to this, make sure you go back through our training. You need to learn this, all right? Two-finger salute. What's happening here is this is a down two-finger salute, and I will say into the golden rope zone. You can clearly see this one is coming right into the two-finger salute zone. I'm sorry, the golden rope zone. So should I initially be trying to get my targets 1, 2, and 3? Or should I try to reverse this? Remember that the entry point is right here at the end of the box. All right, there come the answers. There's all of our veterans. Our veterans ain't tricked. They know the answers to this. Excellent work, guys. Yes, yes indeed. So this is one that we are reversing, right? Our initial on this, we are definitely wanting to reverse that position. Let's see if I can bring that chat box out. I don't know why I'm not seeing y'all's responses there. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, they know what's up. Okay, so down two-finger into the golden ropes, we are reversing this, and this one definitely gives us our 5, 10, and 15 pop, really gives us 20 tick pop up off of those. So some people actually wait for these just to pop that reverse. I myself actually kind of prefer the reverses myself. They're a lot easier to manage. There's a lot less guesswork in them. That's a nice one right there. This one's a little bit trickier. This is an up two-finger. So let me ask this. Is this one into the golden ropes? Some of these are tougher, all right? You need to get really good at practicing those two-finger salutes because you kind of got to take other things into account. Where are we in the sequence? How far of a move was it? Was it overextended? Did we just move through the other one like butter? Okay, this is one that really both sides of this work. Okay, this is one where I usually want to try to reverse off of that second green line, but can I get 5, 10, 15 out of this? I can. Technically the box, where's the box at? Is the box on the line or in the zone? No, it's not. This is far enough away to take this one long in, right? I just want you guys to focus in on these two. If you are trading these, you need to know the rules, okay? You can't just, again, don't just take these blind. Okay, but I'm going to zoom these in real close so you can see the difference between these two. Okay, I got a loose down into the golden rope. I want to reverse this. I got an up two-finger right here, not in the golden ropes. Do I want to take this 5, 10, and 15? Absolutely. And remember, for me, I want to make sure I get my guarantee 5 and 10. Now, I don't even take the 5. I always take minimum. I'm taking a 10 to see if I get the extra runners. Okay, you guys know that through our strategies. JKM, how dependent is this on time of day? This is time of day agnostic. The only time to not take this trade is between 10:10 and 10:30. It's a gamble between 10:10 and 10:30. That's part of our rule set. If you don't know about the 10:10 to 10:30 kind of sit on hands time, again, you'll watch us every day. You'll always see, I've even got an alert that pops up, shows up on our screens in the live sessions, and of course we announce it all over the place. Like, all right, folks, it's danger zone time, hands off the keyboard. And again, there's a lot of reasons of stuff that happens at that 10:10 to 10:30 time. Has to do with the open, the people who are getting involved, who are getting out, etc. at that time of day. 10:10 to 10:30, good place to sit on hands. All right, let's take a peek at this next one. This one is a loose. Okay, so does this one work? It does. Did this one stop out? No. So remember, so here's the stops on the two-finger salute, in case anybody wants to know. Same thing, real easy. My stop is at the back of a box. All right, my targets are up here. I've got targets 1, 2, and 3. This is a 5, a 10, and a 15. And again, what's the optimized time frame? Now, this is something else that people don't get. You cannot do this strategy legit unless you go back and look historically at my optimized range that I post either that day or that week. If you don't know what that is, go back and watch last video. The part 2, I go into great detail on breaking down the grid for the optimized time frames and how we post those out, giving you information like the stops, the targets, the max adverse excursion, that's the MAE column in there, as well as what range you should be on that day. And that is based on our optimized what our robots are, basically our robots run, and get the optimized settings for that day. Okay, you can't just run this on any time frame. Our lowest time frame we're going to run it on is the 16. Highest we're going to run this on is the 28. Okay, so if you are looking for a range for what that would be, it's 16 to 28, and play with it to your heart's content. We have folks who specifically only trade this strategy. You know, it's a good one for timers. You know, you're probably going to get 2, 3 to 5 trades a day per instrument. You know, work your risk reward. One of my favorite setups when these come in, when that audio alert comes in, I get excited. I know a lot of the people on the crew do too. This one was a close one. Is it close to the golden ropes? Nope, we're off the golden ropes. Do I get an up move? Yes, I do. Did I get targets 1 and 2? Yes, but I did not get target 3. You guys can see that, right? So we get target, again, this is really my target 1. I put all my money right here. I always try to go for that mid target. It's just the way that I trade, right? I'm a faster trader. I take more trades. So that's just me. I always try to get that trade. I don't mess with this first one, but scalpers, this is a scalper's delight right here. I mean, we hit that 5 target, you know, all the time. People who are trading the ES, this is a great one for the ES traders. Go put that one on your chart and you'll see why. Okay, so that's a 2-finger, and the pro version does show. Let's see if we have a super on here somewhere. So there are 3. There is a loose, a moderate, and a super. These are all loose. Again, a little more rare to find a super. There's not one here, but pretty easy to know. You know, a super is going to have more power behind it, so I'll bet heavier on a super. Mid, same thing. There's one that's a moderate. I can position size accordingly. Again, person who's only using a single trade, you don't need that. That's why I talk about, you know, this is the pro pack, right? This is the folks that have a bigger account size, who want to trade multiples, you know, targets and stops, who are going to adjust their size as they move. What do the golden ropes represent? Good question, James. So nothing special or fancy about those. They're standard 50 EMA and 200 EMA with, in our case for these, they have zones around them. Okay, that's the only thing that we customize around these. These zones or envelopes around them help us to gauge this particular strategy, particularly. Again, there are other strategies that we use with those, but really particularly that zone, if it's violated by one of these up 2 fingers or down 2 fingers, if it's touching the box, then we're reversing. Okay, my default is to want to try to find an area to reverse that position first before I go in the direction of that trade. And again, you know, that's a strategy you have to practice. It's not just something that you snap your fingers and you go with. But again, if everything that you're working with is managing your risk, doing money management with this strategy, it gives you a great entry opportunity on your charts. And this is kind of what the chart looks like if it's naked and you just have that there. We do have VL1, 2, and 3 on here. But if I take those completely off, let's kind of show what that looks like. Take off our support resistance zones. Okay, this is what the 2-finger looks like. You know, this is an entire day's worth of data. There's 4 trades that day. Some of these are at 2 a.m. though. This is like, that's 1 a.m. in the morning. That's 2 a.m. so you're not going to take those. And then you got these 2 in the afternoon on this time frame. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go to 18 range. All right, here we'll see. Oh, here there's a J hook in there. So 2-finger salute on the 18. Wow, there's only one right here. Right there. Again, the time frame matters. We optimize these. Let's see if we can find any more. 16, which is our lowest. Hopefully, I'm trying to just see if we can get a bunch. There we go. Okay, so you know, you start to scroll through here and see. So, winner, 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 winner. Not a winner. Hey, we got a loser. There's a loser. Let's change the color of that one. All right, loser. So all those 2 fingers. Winner, 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 loser. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to 1. Not too bad. All right, do the math on that. It's one of our favorites. One of my favorites. You know, you'll like that one. Okay. That one comes in, and of course you get the, I wanted to see if we had a moderate and a super in here. These are all loose. So no additional strengths with any of these. But if you'll see one that's a strict, super, or moderate showing up on your chart, you're going to see the difference. You're going to get a big move out of that one. That's one where you can hold that runner. For me, on a super, I'm always going to hold a runner, and I'm going to add to my position size on a super. Okay. Any other questions on that? Great question, James. Appreciate the contribution. Okay, so that was the two finger, the J hook. We covered a lot of ground here on part 3 of 7, so hope you guys enjoyed all of that, and thanks for coming and hanging out with us, with you guys here who are here with us live. If you're watching this at a later time, put some questions down in the comments if you got some. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up if you like what we're doing here, or if you don't like my red t-shirt and you think I'm an ugly SOB like I do, hit that thumbs down. All right, thanks for hanging out, folks. I'm gonna send it off right here. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad. Don't forget, we're back in the room tomorrow morning. Curtis G and the rest of the gang. I'm sending out that big H-Town. See y'all. Oh, my buttons aren't working. There they go. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.